Hi everyone and welcome to Positively Kimmie. I am Kimmie. If you are new here, welcome. This is a safe space. And if you're one of my returning subscribers and my besties, hi guys, how are you? I hope you're all having an amazing day. Welcome to What's Up Wednesday. Today there are a few things going on, so I'm going to tell you about them and the chaos that is Kimmie. And hopefully you leave me a comment down below and you tell me what's going on in your lives. I mean, we become true besties, and that's my goal for this channel, is that I get as many besties as I can and we become one big family. So if that sounds good to you, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, and doing all the things, and that's what I ask. So join me, please. All right, so this has been a crazy week, and wait till I tell you the last part because it's just gonna be like ridiculous. So I did my hair, and this is the way it came out. I decided to go back and I bleached parts of it, and I did the color that I really wanted. So part of it is highlighted with the color that I really wanted, and I really like the way it came out. So we have really like coppery red in it, and you couldn't tell with the curls so much, but this I'm really liking. So I hope you guys like it too. And I decided to blow it out last night because I'm not going anywhere today and it's not as humid today, so this is what we ended up with. Excuse me. And so I'm loving this, so hopefully you guys like it too, and let me know down below if you do. And the second thing is, my grandson is sick. Oh my god, my little baby. I felt so bad for him yesterday, and he was so cranky. Oh my goodness. He just kept telling mimaw. He's saying mimaw like 1,000 times a day, which is really cute in the beginning with the first 100 times he's saying it, but after the 100th time you're like, dude, call somebody else. It's like, mimaw, look, mimaw this, mimaw over here, mimaw, look, mimaw, do this, mimaw, do that. And I'm like, dude, there are other people in the room. mimaw, sit, mimaw. And I'm like, there's other people over here. mimaw, hide. And he's so cute. But yesterday he was a little crank bucket, and he's like, mimaw, no. And I'm like, do you want to sit with me, Ma? No. I'm like, he went like this to me. He's like, no, stop. And I'm like, what, stop breathing? He didn't want me to look at him. He did not want to talk to me. He was hiding behind the curtain. He just did not want any part of me, Ma, yesterday. And it was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? So then eventually he fell asleep on mimaw. So like, dude, if you don't want to talk to me, don't fall asleep on me. No, I'm just kidding. You know, he was so cute. But he really wanted no part of me yesterday, but he was really not feeling good. He has such a bad cough and such a bad sore throat, and my heart was so broken for him yesterday. I don't like to see him sick, and he has really bad tonsils and really bad adenoids, and my son's insurance has a $5,000 deductible. They have crappy insurance nowadays. They don't have insurance like we did, where it's included in your paycheck, and you have like, we didn't have a deductible when my husband and I were married, and even when we weren't married, then I went on Medicaid, and there was no deductible, so I could bring my kids to any doctor, and everything was always covered, and I didn't have co-payments or anything like that, and I was able to take them to the doctor. Well, if they go to the doctor and he needs his tonsils done, his adenoids done, his tubes in his ears, that's the first $5,000 he's gonna have to pay out of pocket. And then he has to, because he's only 2, he has to stay in the hospital for 2 days straight, and that's going to be out of pocket for the first $5,000. And then he have to pay $200 a day because he's not staying in for 7 days. $200 a day for the hospital, and then for the medication and all this other stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous what he has to pay for insurance, and they can't afford something like that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So they're trying to wait, and I know that sounds horrible, but it's just, till he's 3, because then he doesn't have to stay in the hospital for the 2 days, and then they'll have to pay the $5,000 for the hospital, and then they'll just have to pay for the medications and things like that. So we're gonna try and hold him off a little while longer and not take him to the beach, and use the plugs for his ears and when he's showering too and stuff like that, because it's just so expensive. And you shouldn't have to decide whether or not your health care is deterrent on whether or not you have the money to afford whether or not your child gets the health care or not. It's just so wrong to have to decide whether or not they get the coverage they need based on whether or not you have the money to pay for it. It's just wrong, I think so. And I hope I said that right. I'm sure I didn't, and I'm sure I botched it up, because it's a very sore subject with me. It's like my mom with her medications. Her medications are so expensive that if she did not live with me, she would have to decide whether or not she would have to pay rent or eat or get her medications. And for the seniors in this country, the vets in this country, my son with his son and his medication, you should not have to decide whether or not you're going to eat, pay rent, get medical attention. That should not be something that we as Americans are worried about. You know what I'm saying? It's just not something we should have to worry about, one or the other. You should be able to afford all those things as an American. So that's my feeling and my opinion, and I hope I'm saying it right, and I hope that I'm not offending anybody, and I don't think I should be. And I know I should bring up political type things, and I don't think this is a political issue. I think it's a human issue, and I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, on another note, another health note, Mama's foot. Okay, she has cellulitis in her right foot, and we got in touch. She's on a house calls program, which means the doctors come to the house because she can't get out. And last night, I'm looking at her foot, the other foot, the left foot, and I move her walker away from her, and because I'm looking and I'm like, wow, is that a shadow? What is that? And on her foot, and I'm not exaggerating, I have a tendency to exaggerate, but I'm not exaggerating, is something this big, and it's a blister, a blood blister this big on her foot. It's literally half the size, a little bit more than half the size of a dollar bill on her foot. I have a picture of it. I'm not going to put it up because I don't want to skeeve anybody out. And I was like, what the heck is this? Now, we got in touch with her primary care doctor through this program, and they said they can't be here till tomorrow to check it. In the meantime, this woman is prone to infections, and she has her cataract surgery coming up in August, and we don't want her to get an infection ahead of time. So if this thing bursts or drains and she gets something in there, she can get an infection, and that would be the worst thing that could happen for this woman. So we're trying to get someone here today, and that's just not happening. And they're like, oh, well, we'll just wrap it. And if you wrap it too hard, then it could burst. And again, something could get in there, and that would not be good. And if you don't wrap it hard enough, I don't know what could happen. But how does the doctor who lives the next town over, which is only, you have to pass my town to get to her town, why she can't take 2 minutes out of her schedule and stop by and just check this, which is a waste of time anyway, and I'll tell you why. Because this doctor, every time she comes here, says the exact same thing, which, oh, that's not in my field, you have to see a specialist. Now, my mom should really be going to the hospital to have this checked, and the doctor from house calls, the reason they are there is so that you don't go to the hospital every single time there's a problem. But she should be going to the hospital, but she can't put a shoe on her foot because it's so incredibly swollen, and we don't want it to explode, So it's just a mess. It's a mess, and we're so worried about this blister, which is now getting thicker and thicker and raised higher and higher. Besides the width of it, it's going up and up. So I don't know what we should be doing for this. So if you have any suggestions besides popping it, because we don't want to do that, please let me know if you've ever dealt with something like this. And like I said, I have a picture, and if you want to see it, I will send it to you if you send me your email address, because it really is, it's nasty. It's nasty. So that is so far the way my week has gone. My sister has stayed over my house for a couple of nights so far. She's still putting things into storage and still moving. She has a place that she's signing the lease for August 1st for September. So she'll be out of the other place the end of July so far, it looks like. So she'll be with me all of August. And she stays here because she doesn't like to be at her house alone at night. So she's with me all night, and we'll see how it goes. Well, it's going to have to go. You know what I'm saying? She'll be here every night until she's into her place, and hopefully that will go smoothly, and we'll get enough people to help us move her into her new apartment. She's going to need mostly new furniture, because most of her furniture got broken during the moving process. So her living room furniture all got broken during the moving process, and that really stinks for her. So hopefully we can just smile through it and just barrel through and get everything done. Someone to help us hang the curtains, because I can't stand on a step stool. She can't stand on a step stool, neither can Mama. None of us have good balance, and my nephew doesn't know how to hang curtains, and hopefully one of my sons will be able to help us with that, and some friends. So we're just moving right along, and we're all staying positive, and we're all just laughing about everything that's been going on, because if you don't laugh, you cry, and we're not those type of people. We stay positive, and we just, make lemonade out of lemons, like you have to. So that's been my week so far. I hope that you've had a really good week, and you make lemonade out of lemons as well. And in the meantime, be happy, be healthy, be blessed, and most of all, be positively you, because there's no one else quite like you, and that makes me so incredibly happy. You guys rock. I love you.